G'day guys and welcome back to Jans_Gaming for another Dokkan Battle video. So for today's video we're going to be running through the team building guide for the AGL first Form Frieza who just dropped on Global. As I mentioned, hopefully you guys are skipping, but if you did summon, hopefully the team builds help. So firstly, don't forget to like and subscribe because I do team builds for all the new units that drop, and yeah, let's jump on into it. So for his details here, you can see we don't have the craziest amount of teams. We've got Wicked Bloodline, Terrifying Conquerors, Inhuman Deeds, Space Traveling Warriors, Gifted Warriors, Planetary Destruction, and Sworn Enemies. So yeah, not much to work with, which will make team building tough, but you'll see that later on here. For our links, we've got Strongest Queen in Space, Universe's Most Malevolent, Frieza's Army, Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, and Big Bad Bosses is definitely very, very helpful for this guy. Fear of Faith and Fierce Battle there. So at least he does have a pretty common link set for a lot of these extreme class units. So no 7 linking partner, but we do have the 6 linking partner. We've got the Tech Transforming Frieza when he does go into his second phase there. Moving into our 5 linking partners, and we've got the AGL Final Form Frieza, who's eventually get a sub EZA, and the same goes for the STR one that is in 4th there. We've got both of the STR coolers here, definitely aged a lot, but just given the current state of extreme class teams, you're probably going to find yourself running those guys quite a bit, and you'll see that in the team builds. And then we've also got the Golden Frieza, which comes from the Tech Transforming Frieza. So when he finishes up at Golden Frieza, you also share 5 links there. Moving on to our 4 linking partners, we've got the STR Mecha Frieza and King Cold, so a unit that recently got their ECA. You got the Physical Metal Cooler, he does offer a full 200% leader skill for all Wicked Bloodlines, so look, I don't include him on this team building guide, but could be an option to run it. And then we've got the AGL and the STR full power freezers. So the STR already has his EZA. The AGL would be coming up on his EZA. You never know when those are going to drop, to be honest. Could be like next anniversary, could be next worldwide, who would know. We've got the Int Golden Frieza, so this is the unit that drops during the 9th anniversary with Broly, but thought it was worth mentioning here. And then we also have the STR Cooliza, so again, a unit that was pretty handy when he dropped. He's a defensive stacker that can perform multiple supers and is a Wicked Bloodline support, but unfortunately just doesn't have enough defensive utility these days to run. So yeah, tough going here. But we continue on. For our 3 linking partners, we've got the AGL Golden Frieza, so unit that did come out a long time ago, but because of his damage reduction can still be pretty useful, especially as a slot 1 unit. We've got the Physical Transforming Frieza, Reps of Universe 7 one. Again, another unit that needs an easy A. We've got the Int Piccolo Jr, who is still really, really solid. We'll showcase his team later on. I think his team's definitely going to be one of the better builds here. We've got the SDR Bojack, who needs an EZA, and honestly, I think he would be a super impactful EZA, especially with his support there. We've got the Int Harudigon, who recently came out, a dodging stacking character, so definitely a bit of value in him. And then we've got the AGL 13 that also recently got his EZA. Again, another defensive stacker in base there. So jumping onto the first team, and we're going to be looking at the Planetary Destruction / Space Traveling Warriors team. So that is led by the AGL Frieza. You'll see a lot of units here get quite a bit of the same usage, but that's sort of just the nature of this team here. So we've got the AGL Frieza as our leader here. We've got the AGL Golden Frieza as well. We got the STR coolers, both the TUR and LR, the Int Dodoria, and the Physical Boo. So as per Frieza's kit, he does get the additional defense per Terrifying Conquerors unit on the team. So you're definitely going to be much better off utilizing a full team, but that's a 20% buff per unit. I think the support that the Physical Kid Boo brings is, can be so much more valuable than that extra 20%. So that's why he's sort of been chucked in there. For our rotation pieces, I'd probably be going the Frieza with the AGL Golden Frieza, as I mentioned before, with that damage reduction. Can be really useful to sit in slot 1 there. The other rotation, you're probably just going to have to try your best with either STR Cooler or Dodoria as your slot 1s, and then AGL First Form Frieza in slot 2. That's going to make it really tough going. But yeah, either way, yeah, I'd want to be running an AGL Frieza on each rotation, and then you're going to be floating the STR Final Form Cooler and Physical Kid Boo. So yeah, pretty difficult teams to sort of build around, given the current status of extreme class units. But the second team that we'll look at here is the Piccolo Jr. team, the Terrifying Conquerors / Gifted Warriors team, and it does have quite a bit more value here. As you can see, we've got both of the boos there, and that's where a lot of that value does come from, to be honest. But we've got the Piccolo Jr. as our lead, we've got the AGL Frieza, the Tech Exchange Boo Easy A, the Int Fat Boo, who just released, the STR Cooler again, and then also the AGL Golden Frieza. So for the rotations of this one, it would be, well, you could start off with the AGL Golden Frieza alongside the First Form Frieza. You could eventually exchange the Golden Frieza for the STR Cooler, but then the other obvious one is the two boos rocking together. They're a phenomenal rotation, so I envision that would probably carry the run there. The handy thing here is that two of your floaters, being the In Piccolo Juniors, they work best in slot 2 and 3, and they also are a Big Bad Bosses unit, so they are going to be helping to get that link active for the Frieza. So yeah, I think this is probably one of the better teams for the Frieza. The next is the Movie Bosses / Resurrected Warriors team, so led by Hirudegon. As I mentioned, with his dodge, with his defensive stacking, Hirudegon can be really, really useful if you're getting that good RNG. We've got that AGL Freezers, and we've got the STR Coolers. Thrown on Tech Janemba here, I would love to see him get his Easy A very, very soon. He'd be super impactful for a lot of these extreme class sort of teams. But he's definitely not as good as he once was. So we've got Hirudegon in there. Then we've got the AGL First Form free. I think running a Hirudegon with AGL First Form Frieza is probably going to be a pretty good rotation. And then running Hirudegon with maybe the STR LR Cooler on the other rotation could be pretty effective. Means you'd be floating the STR Cooler as well as the Tech Janemba. So two support style units there could be pretty effective. It's sort of a bit of a battler one. You've got the AGL Golden Frieza there, who could chop you out as a slot 1 unit, but I think primarily you would want to utilize him just as a floater, given that you've got two good slot 1s in Hirudegon there. But in looking at this team, another way that you could build it is sort of a bit more of a boo-focused team, and that's sort of what you see here. You're losing out a lot of Terrifying Conquerors this way, so Frieza is going to be losing a lot of his defensive capabilities, but in saying that, he's also going to be sitting in slot 2, so it's a bit of a tough trade-off. I think bringing in the boo units is going to make the team work way more effectively. But yeah, it's whether you're trying to make Frieza look really good or whether you're trying to win sometimes. So the final team that we'll look at here is the Tech Zamasu team build. Still phenomenal unit, and when it comes down to extreme class missions, he really does sort of carry with his leader skill here. So for the team, you've got Tech Zamasu, you've got the First Form Frieza. I've chosen Int Rose, that could easily be like the AGL transforming Zamasu. You've got plenty of choices there. Got the Int Hirudegon again, the Int Chilai, and then also the physical Kid Boo. So getting quite a feature here, Kid Boo, but in terms of extreme class supports, he's right up the top there as one of the best of them. So for the rotations of this one, it would be Tech Zamasu with Rose, and then Tech Zamasu with First Form Frieza. If you didn't want to continue using the other Text Master 1 rotation with First Form Frieza, you could then put the Hirudegon in slot 1 for Frieza as well, and that would work really well. You're going to be getting big bad bosses everywhere, so would work really effectively. The main thing is that you're just going to be wanting to float the Inchili because she gives off that orb changing, the support, and she has the scouter while she's dodging. And then you've got Physical Kid Buu, who, as I've spoken about all throughout the video, just is phenomenal with his damage reduction and massive extreme class support. So that's the build, guys. As I mentioned, I think this one with the double Piccolos is probably going to be pretty effective here. Gives you a lot of options to get in your Terrifying Conquerors for the First Form Frieza's passive, but you're also getting a super powerful rotation with both of the Buus together there. But let me know your thoughts on the team builds down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with the content, and hopefully I'll catch you all on the next video.